Welcome to our channel, where we update the most exciting plots, in-depth analysis and bold speculations about today's top dramatic dramas. If you are a fan of unexpected developments, unexpected twists of fate and dark secrets exposed under the light, then you have come to the right place. Today, we invite you to embark on a thrilling and breathtaking journey with what is happening in Beyond the Gates, where betrayal, deception and the price of trust are exchanged with every breath. The pale hospital lights cast a shadow on Bill's pale face. Each weak heartbeat sounded like a signal that a soul was gradually separating from this world. Doctors were not sure whether Bill could overcome the critical condition or not, because the severe injuries after a serious accident had seriously damaged his entire body. Family, friends, and acquaintances sat outside the emergency room, eyes fixed on the closed door, praying in despair. But while everyone was immersed in worry and pain, one person was completely absent: Hayley. Hayley's absence did not initially raise suspicions, because everyone thought she was in so much pain that she could not face the scene. But the truth was far from what they imagined. While Bill was fighting for his life in the recovery room, Hayley was somewhere else, a remote hotel outside the city, in the arms of another man, a secret lover she had kept hidden for months. The man was identified as a suspect in a poisoning case that had been cleared due to lack of evidence. He had a brief relationship with a wealthy woman, who later died of an unknown illness. The file was reopened, and the man's name began to appear on a special watch list. As information gradually emerged, the only person who did not know anything was Hayley herself. She continued her double life, playing the role of a grieving wife in front of Bill's family, and a passionate lover in the arms of another. But what she did not expect was that her lover was starting to lose patience. He wanted her to completely cut ties with the past, to become his forever. His body had not yet fully recovered, and every movement was as painful as 1,000 knives piercing through it. However, his will had become stronger than ever. He was no longer the gullible man who blindly trusted his wife, who always said she loved him. The mental pain was now greater than the physical pain. He knew that he could not expose Hayley in the usual way, could not make a fuss, could not let her guard down. Every action had to be calculated like a life-or-death game. Bill's best friend, a man named Marcus, who used to work for a famous private investigation agency, quickly got involved. Under the guise of a mental health care provider for patients after severe trauma, making Hayley even more subjective. Meanwhile, Hayley was still living in a vague sense of euphoria. She thought that luck was on her side. Bill's awakening did not worry her too much, because he, her secret lover, had reassured her that Bill would soon relapse and die of complications. But during those days of waiting, her mysterious lover began to act strangely. He became cold, sometimes lost contact for a few days, then suddenly appeared with unexplained scratches. Hayley began to feel uneasy. Meanwhile, Marcus had tracked down the lover's true identity. The victims were wealthy women who had had romantic relationships with him. Although conclusive evidence was always lacking, the traces in the records showed that he was a systematic predator. Every relationship is a step in a sophisticated game that he plays. Bill and Marcus devise a plan. They create a false situation that Bill's health is suddenly deteriorating. His internal organs are starting to fail, and the doctors can't figure out why. The news is spread in a controlled manner to Hayley. She begins to waver, feeling that the moment of liberation is near. Evan constantly urges her to withdraw all the money from Bill's joint account, and quickly sell the villa they own. The two plan to leave the country with a new identity. But it is then that Hayley discovers something shocking: her phone has been hacked. There are strange calls. Old messages that she was sure she had deleted now appear on her phone. She frantically checks her device but can't find the cause. Fear begins to rise, creeping into her every move. Evan was impatient. He even suggested that if Bill didn't die soon, they would help him in other ways. That sentence was like a knife cutting into Hayley's last conscience. Despite the betrayal and the calculation, directly killing her husband was something she had never thought of. At the same time, Marcus had collected enough evidence that Evan had used a rare poison mixed in wine to gradually weaken the victim. The test results of items at Bill's house were compared. or at least deliberately turned a blind eye. The climax broke out when Marcus decided to set a trap for both of them. A fake call from the bank informed that Bill and Hayley's joint account had been locked due to suspicious transactions. Hayley panicked and called Evan, who immediately suggested an emergency meeting at a remote location outside the city, unaware that the entire location was bugged and monitored. Hayley showed up with a bag of cash and a stack of fake documents. Evan also arrived with a small suitcase. Inside was a prepared poison. The encounter was tense. Hayley began to doubt, asking Evan if they were really safe. But Evan revealed his true colors, forcing her to choose: leave with him immediately or stay and suffer the consequences. When Hayley hesitated, Evan became angry, and at that moment, the police stormed in, arresting both of them on the spot. The case was quickly closed. Evan was charged with attempted murder, assault with a poisonous substance, and fraud. As for Hayley, because there was no evidence that she directly harmed Bill, she was given a lighter sentence, but was still charged with concealing and aiding and abetting a crime. Bill, after witnessing everything, did not feel happy. He only felt empty. The woman he had loved, whom he had trusted completely, had betrayed him in the most cruel way. Although he survived, his heart was broken. He left the hospital with a body that was gradually healing, but a soul that could never be the same as before. He chose to disappear from his old life, go to another land where no one knew who he was, start over as a man who had died and come back to life. In the end, when all the truths were exposed, the masks fell off and the nature of each person was revealed in shame, pain, and despair. Bill, who thought he had lost everything, was the only one who had a chance to start over. But the scars, both physical and mental, will never fade. The story is not only a tragic love story, but also a warning about the temptations, lies, and consequences of losing faith. If you found this article interesting and want to follow more dramatic content like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any exciting analysis from our channel. Thank you for joining us, and see you again in the next secrets that will be revealed at Beyond the Gates.